Yes, another designer fragrance top 10, top 12 list today. You might be thinking to yourself, you know, why is it they keep doing these design lists? Why is it that fragrance reviewers in general keep doing these design lists? Do you want to know the truth? Do you really want to know the truth? Because I don't know if you can handle the truth. We keep doing them, Brian, because you watch them. Let me give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, me and my good friend, Matt from George Gent, lovely, lovely bloke. I think he's the future of the whole entire YouTube fragrance community, in my opinion. Me and him did this great video called Top 5 Fragrances Fit for a Tiger King. Don't worry if you've not heard of it or not watched it. Trust me, nobody did. Put a lot of effort into this video. It took about 5 days to make. He shot his bit, then I shot my bit, and then we correlated the two. Wrote a little script for it, got it really prepared, tried to make it funny, and of course tried to make it relatable to Tiger King, which of course was the biggest show ever in the world that particular week. Then I contacted my good friend Joey Canoli. He did a song, and then I had to sing his song, and he put a lot of effort into that song. Incredible. I had to sing it, but I had to sing it in double speed so that then I could slow the footage down so that it looked like a country and western music video. So I actually had to sit in my backyard singing to a chipmunk version of Joey Canoli. That's commitment. Now we're just like stoked around to go, oh my god, this is going to be an incredible video. Start to premiere it. Not too many people watch it on the premiere. That's fine. In 2 days it got 1,700 views, and me and Matt were like, yeah, we've done it. This is incredible. Really, really good. Put a lot of good work into it. Put a lot of good effort into it. Brilliant. Next day I released my top 10 out of 10 designer fragrances. That is YouTube algorithm pornography. That is just YouTube is going to be look at that and go, bloody hell, that title is amazing. Did a relatively good thumbnail. Took me a day and a half to compile the list, then took me only 20 minutes to shoot it in real time and about half an hour to edit it. Didn't really think about it that much, especially when I was editing it, because I can edit very quickly these days. Then upload it. In the same amount of time, 2 days, 10,000 views. Now, I'm not exactly blaming you here. Actually, that's exactly what I'm doing. Bloody hell, why didn't you watch my Sodding Tiger King video? It was a good bloody video. Okay, fine. So what we've got to all accept here is you guys like designers. There's no getting around it. Designer fragrances are still as relevant as ever. They're still as loved as ever. They're still the highest market. The reason being, they're designed to smell good and they are a very reasonable price. Let's stop shaming people for liking designers, and let's please stop shaming fragrance YouTubers for just talking about designers all the time. I'm happy to talk about niche, I'm happy to talk about the indie fragrances, I'm happy to talk about fragrances that maybe not everybody necessarily knows, but the bulk of this community still, the biggest portion of this community are still either beginners who don't know even where to start, or the second is people who love and adore and want to know about designers. By the way, I knew that when we made the Tiger King video, it wouldn't get the biggest view count. I did it for me, and I did it for all the hardcore fans. So don't worry, I'm not legitimately salty, I am a little bit. But could we please stop hating on people, and especially reviewers, who do videos about designers? Because that is some of the most viewed content in this community, and that arguably, from that standpoint, is one of the best services that this community provides. Having said all of that, if I'm honest, you guys have made me love designers even more. It's made me appreciate and realise that designers are still incredibly relevant and still incredibly sought after. You guys make me want to explore designers even more. And of course, I started out with designers. Most of us did. So I'm very, very happy to continue to do these videos. I still do niche videos and indie videos. So the conclusion here is I wanted to do a video talking about my 12 favourite designers right now on the market today that you can readily available buy. None of these are discontinued or hard to find. These are fragrances that I really love. Now, fragrances like L'Homme Sport and the original Dior Homme aren't going to be on this list because these are my favourite fragrances of all time ever in their entirety. I absolutely adore L'Homme Sport. I'm going to be wearing this probably until the day I die. Hopefully the same with Dior Homme. But yes, these are not going to be on this list because these go without saying. These are fragrances that I love and adore forever. No, what this list is that these are 12 fragrances that, for my mind, right now, in this current period, are some of the greatest designers available on the market. Some are a little bit older, most are recent fragrances, but there are some that I've only just really started to discover now, and I'm very, very happy to recommend. So, okay, now having said all of that, we're going to start off a little bit rubbish, actually, and that is this, Calvin Klein CK Everyone. Now, apart from the fact that it's pretty bloody redundant, really poor performance, a little bit sharp on top, and smells incredibly generic, I really like it. There's something about it for me that's quite nostalgic. It's because it's got this nice little orange juice note at the beginning, which, I don't know, orange juice is always just a very nostalgic kind of smell to me. And it's got that with the main backbone of CK1, with some other fruity elements, but I just really, I don't know what to tell you. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, to be honest. I just really like it, and I just wanted to give it some attention. It's my favourite CK1 flanker for a little while now, and I'm really enjoying it. It doesn't last at all. It lasts about an hour or 2 hours, but that's why this thing is incredibly cheap. And for somebody who's just looking for something really, really, really casual and just easy and just wants to smell kind of nice and smells kind of good, I really personally enjoyed this. But it is at the bottom of the list, all right? Please don't say to me, oh my God, George thinks that CK Everyone's the best fragrance that's ever been. No, it's like at the bottom of the list. I know where this stands. It's just this one really resonated. Number 9. Number 11 is this. This is Prada Iris Cèdre. This one is, why this is at the bottom of the list, right, is because it's very niche, ironically, in itself. It smells like really, really, really high quality shaving cream that you've just sprayed on yourself. Like really the highest quality soapy, super soapy shaving cream, and you've just sprayed on yourself, and that's the end of that. And I just like that. Every now and then I really, really enjoy wearing this. But the only problem is that like you put it on and that is literally it. That's all that you're gonna get. It's just really high quality, clean, soapy shaving cream. You put this on, you'll smell like the cleanest dude in the room, no question. But that's basically all that you get out of it, but I really enjoy it. Number 10 is this one. We're still at the lower end of this list, and that is, of course, Givenchy Gentleman Cologne. I don't mean to confuse people like anymore. I remember Nigel from 2 Cents Worth, when I did that review, he was like, wait, George, do you like it? Do you not like it? What's going on? I don't understand. I'm confused. The truth of the matter is that I both simultaneously really love this fragrance and simultaneously really dislike this fragrance. And that is, as I've said all along, one of the best designer openings I've smelled in like 5 years. Not even close. Just an incredible, incredible opening. It's very, very rooty vetiver that's very masculine, very sophisticated, very classy, very grown up, very mature, and then it just sort of like really, really quickly dies this death into a more synthetic style of citrus and, you know, linens and things like that. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. The big problem that I've always had with this is that it starts off incredible, and then peters out. But I still wear it. I'll still spray it. I still really enjoy it for that opening. And hey, it's still, for me, got one of the greatest openings of a designer fragrance for the past 5 years. So that really is something, and I do enjoy wearing it for that. There are some people who have said, look, I'm not gonna buy it if it's not the full experience. Totally respect that, totally understand that. But for those of you who are curious, get a sample, try and test it out. Number 9 is from the House of Montblanc. It is Explorer. Now, man, I didn't realise how controversial it would be when I would start saying that I really liked this, but I do. I really think it's a great designer, like the greatest designer mainstream variation of Aventus that I've ever smelt. There are some people who really hate it, and there are some people who really get where I'm coming from with it, which is it's taking all of the best citrusy, maybe a bit of a floral element, all of the designer elements of Aventus, just taking all of the greatest potential elements of Aventus that's friendly and that's likeable and that's compliment getting, and smashing it into one bottle. There's another reason I like this fragrance that I'm going to get into on a video that's coming out on Saturday. It's a revenge fragrance. It's a fragrance that was made basically as a sort of I don't know, as a backhand to Creed. Why? Because Creed did the same with Montblanc Individual. They cloned and they copied Montblanc Individual into Original Santal. So this isn't just a great compliment getting Very, very easy to wear, very, very easy to enjoy, and like really, really positive, attention-grabbing fragrance. It's kind of a statement from Montblanc Individual to Creed saying, we know what you did, and we've got you back. Number 8 is this. This is Bulgari Man Wood Neroli. I did a review where I basically spelled this out very, very clearly, but what this is it's an Italian style. I mean, Bulgari are Italian, so they're allowed to do this. It's a homage, great homage to old school Italian colognes that are very, very familiar with things like Acqua di Parma's DNA and things like that. So it's that style of fragrance, that old school Italian style with some designer sweeteners to really modernise it, and it's fantastic for that. Number 7, Ombré Leather, Tom Ford. Did a review on this. It's just great. Again, some of these fragrances are smells and DNAs and scents that we've already smelt before. Like with this, it's Tuscan leather, but really, really like streamlined into the mainstream so that it's a little bit more applicable and a little bit more user-friendly for people. This is Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford, but again, stripped down, simplified, and just an absolute pleasure to wear in the colder months. I did a review of this also, but this is really one of the best things going for the Tom Ford brand right now. So number 6 is a fragrance that I bought because of the video that's coming out on Saturday, which is all about clones. Big 27-minute video all about clones. Yeah, it's as wild as you think, right? But I think you should enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. And one of the fragrances that I talked about was this one. And I thought to myself, you know what, I remember really liking that. I should go and buy that. And I bought it and I thought, actually, this is amazing. This is a really, really great fragrance, really enjoyable to wear. It's from the house of Prada. It's Rossa Carbon, which is basically their clone interpretation reboot of Sauvage. I much prefer this to Sauvage. It's my scent of the day today, actually, and I've not really stopped wearing it. I've really enjoyed it. Got this very, very recently, about a week and a half ago, and I really, really like it. It's got so much going for it. It's got this nice like fruity accord with that metallic thing. It's basically it's like Sauvage, but it's without all of the stuff that I don't like about Sauvage, and much cleaner. This is of course by Daniela, who is the in-house perfumier for Prada, and she makes usually things like Iris Cèdre, which smells like shaving cream, or Prada L'Homme, which smells like soap. And she's integrated that discipline with Sauvage, which makes it a lot less dirty, a lot less sort of like clubby and, you know, whatever, and has actually made it a lot more cleaner and refined, and I really, really love this. If this had been what Sauvage was actually, I would have loved Sauvage, but I don't, but I really, really love this. I haven't worn it enough to say whether it gets compliments or not, but I just know that it's like, I could just imagine it would be incredibly people-pleasing. Number 5 is Eau de Merveilles by Hermès. This was my number 1 spring fragrance. Before you freak out, yes, it's a female fragrance, but whatever, like who cares anymore. Really, really licoricey with a lot of citruses and that orange peel that Hermès is really, really known for. I'm surprised that this wasn't actually perfumed by Jean-Claude Ellena, but this is a very, very complicated fragrance with like orange peel, with like this licoricey kind of thing, like I said, with some sweetness, with some woods. It's really, really quite something, and on the skin, this is just magic, pure magic. Okay, we're getting into the top 4 now. These are really the fragrances that I would, if you want to know my genuine feelings, just try and test these out. Really, really honestly, just try and test these out. Number 4 is a fragrance that only I really talked about in the winter, and I really wish that this fragrance was talked about a lot more. It's the scent Absolute. It's just all of the modern designer, cold weather styles of fragrance just combined into one solid scent. It just feels as though it's the amalgamation of a lot of different styles and a lot of different trends that have come in the past 10 years into one sort of ultimate fantastic, near perfect designer fragrance. Number 3, I want to give a shout out to Dallas. who I really, really do admire. I think that his lists are absolutely amazing, and he's, you know, when it comes to designer list fragrances, he really is like the champion of it at the moment, this kind of style of video. But thank you for also mentioning this fragrance, which, when this fragrance came out, everybody was disappointed except for me. In fact, I was elated. This is Chanel Bleu de Chanel Parfum. If you don't know the story, the EDT and the EDP smell like bitter bananas on me. Really doesn't work on my skin. However, it works on a lot of my friends' skin, which is really, really irritating because it smells amazing on them, doesn't smell good on me. But then they changed the perfumier from Jacques Polish to now in-house perfumier Olivier Polish, and this was his take on Bleu de Chanel Parfum. This is like near niche quality. In fact, this is basically like a niche quality version of Bleu de Chanel to me. He really, really pulled out all the stops and just did an amazing job. And this does not smell like bitter bananas on me. In fact, it smells like good old designer, sexy Bleu de Chanel with a lot of incenses and spices on me. It's an absolute trip. Number two, if you're a Jeremy fragrance fan and you see this, you're going to be like, hang on, didn't he say that this was rubbish? It's not rubbish. In fact, I'm planning on doing a video to defend this fragrance because I feel as though it was just given not like no love from Jeremy, and I feel he was actually really wrong about this fragrance. Or rather, a better way of putting it is he oversimplified what this fragrance is. This is 1 Million Parfum. Not only do I think this is the best 1 Million flanker, I think it's one of the best flankers of all time. It takes all of the darker, more mature elements of the original 1 Million and really, really plays on that. Yes, there is less sexy, citrusy grapefruit, but I feel as though we've done that with Privé, with Lucky, with Cologne. We've done that so many times. This is looking at the depth of 1 Million. This is looking at the deeper elements, the leather, the wood, all of that kind of stuff. The cinnamon to a degree, the pepper, all of that. This is what this is an exploration of. This is trying to take 1 Million and make it grow up and making it a very, very responsible adult with a mortgage and a wife, right? That's the vibe that I get from this. And yeah, I was completely blown away by that. And the more that I wear that, even in the high heat, I just think it's stellar. I cannot say enough good things about that. But the number one fragrance, my favorite designer fragrance right now, the one that I would say to everybody, look, from my personal standpoint, this is an absolute king, but you have to like citrus fragrances. You have to enjoy lighter citrus fragrances and summer fragrances. If you don't and you're more into darker stuff, this is not going to work for you. But if you're like me and you love the spring and summer style fragrances, this is to me just the king at the moment. This is Christian Dior's Homme Cologne. Now, some people really don't get iris. I don't get an insane amount of iris in this. I get what's mainly put on the notes, which is, of course, the orange, the lemon, very, very, very citrusy. But I do get a little bit of a backbone of iris. I do get a little bit of a more sort of greener kind of backbone here, but nothing too outrageous. And this is so crisp. This is so clean. This is so clear. It's a masterpiece. It truly is a masterpiece, and like as if Dior need any more of those, right? This is just an incredible fragrance. It's been an absolute pleasure to wear. I do believe that the new version of it is still pretty much the same, maybe a little bit watered down, maybe not as bright as this, but it's still incredibly, incredibly good. This is, of course, the 2013 version of Dior Homme Cologne. But yeah, I just think that this is absolutely impeccable, and to me it's one of the greatest designer fragrance releases of all time. So there are my 12 designer fragrances that I'm really, really enjoying at the moment, and I think that are some of the best in the business that you should totally go and check out. Anyway, thank you so much. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, rather, you should, because you would see the fact that I've been wearing quite a few of these, and you can sort of follow my fragrance journey on a day-to-day basis. So follow me on Instagram, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video. Thank you so much. I'm the Fragrance Apprentice, and I will see you very soon. Thanks. Bye.